As President Buhari commissions the 6th Mausoleum today, commendations pour in on cordial relationship between the state government and federal government. State Police Command parades more than 10 suspected persons for different crimes. Federal government to commence polio immunization soon. Zimbabwe Human Rights Watch accuses its government of high-handedness in dealing with pro-protesters. Good morning and welcome to the news at 7. I am David Obokwasile. Few hours to the arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari to commission the 6th Mausoleum in Onitsha, while many in the Anambra have continued to applaud the cordial relationship between the state and the federal government. Correspondent Dennis Obaleze spoke to the All Progressives Grand Alliance candidate for Yandaya Melon Federal Constituency, Chief Ekene Enefe, ahead of the event that will hold later today.
NFA praised Governor Willie Obiano's efforts at reaching out to the federal government for more presence in Anambra. He expressed delight that 6 Mausoleum projects, which commenced some 22 years ago, have been completed under the administration of Governor Obiano in the state.
As much as I give credit to Buhari, I think much of the credit will go to His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano because of his cordial relationship with the federal government. Because government has made so much promises, budgeted for it, but nothing to show for it. And I think it's the persistence of the governor that and his relationship with the federal government that encouraged the federal government to complete this project. And I must say a big thank you to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
While praising the president, Honorable NFA noted that the best approach was made by the governor, adding that Anambra have got enormous benefits since the regime of Governor Obiano.
The best approach is being applied by the best governor in Nigeria, who is Chief Willie Obiano, and is yielding something for us. Look at Second Niger Bridge. We've seen what is going on there. This is Second Niger Bridge that 2 previous administrations has budgeted, has made promises, and nothing has come out of it. So I applaud the governor.
In Oka, Dennis Obaleze, ABS News.
And moving on now to security, youths between the ages of 18 and 28 have been paraded by the Anambra State Police Command for robbery-related crimes. Correspondent Ogochukwu Okeke has the details.
Suspects who were arrested for robbery were 12 in number. The Command Special Anti-Robbery Squad on 20th January arrested Emeki Hanacho, aged 25, Ekenede, 28, Nwobodo Kosisochukwu, 26, and Rapuluchukwu Obum, aged 28, robbed one Chizoba Mbazwe of Nsugbe of his Acura Jeep with registration number AAA 114FF, while the Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS Okuzu, arrested one Abunchukwu Obiekwe, aged 21, and Michael Okoye, 28, on 20th January this year, conspired and injured one Michael Victor, aged 28, through gunshots with intention of robbing his motorcycle at Aglo, Adazinuk Road. An exhibit recovered from the suspects include one locally made pistol, 5 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition, and 1 cartridge, among other alleged suspects. Parading the suspects, the Commissioner of Police, Anambra State Command, Mr. Garuba Omar, explained that in their continued efforts to stem the tide of crimes and criminality to its barest minimum, the command took proactive steps through intelligence gathering, visibility policing, and constant raids on criminal hideouts in the state, stressing that the measures have yielded remarkable results. Mr. Omar emphasized these successes were made possible through the cooperation born out of implicit confidence from well-meaning members of the public and sheer patriotism to engender a safe and secure environment for all residents in the state, noting that after thorough investigation, the suspect will be charged to court for prosecution.
Command has, during the period under review, took some proactive steps through intelligence gathering, visibility policing, and constant raids on criminal hideouts in the state. The above measures taken yielded a positive, remarkable result, as suspect has confessed to be an armed robber and is assisting the police with useful information that will help in arresting his accomplices who are at large. All on good people of Anambra State to report any suspicious person to the nearest police station or through the command emergency number 070-39-194-332 for prompt action.
Confessing to the crime, some of the suspects, Chimezie Aronu, secondary school dropout and trailer driver from Umunachi, who allegedly shot an Okada man dead, Emeka Ihanacho, a town crier from Obosi, who snatched 2 cars from the owners with gun, and Madiabuchi Clement, a teller at Abatete, explained that they indulged in the dastardly arts in their quest for better lives for themselves and families and asked for forgiveness.
And I went to go and see my cousin brother from a place where last week he helped me to help him buy stuff. And as I see him, I now go back and buy the shirt. As I buy everything, he saw other man calling down my friend. Now I see my top of my place. As we are coming out from the upper place where we see one girl coming out from that place. They got down from the machine and collected one small idea phone. One idea phone. I stole phones. You stole phones? Yes. Where? At Omonachi. What did you use to steal the phone? What did you use? How did you get the gun, sir? From my opponent, From my opponent, you take it. They know themselves by
From police headquarters, Amobia, Ogochukwu Okeke reporting for ABS News.
In a related development, the State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it has arrested 20 persons for drug-related offenses during its intensified efforts at ensuring violence-free elections in the state. The State Commander of the agency, Mr. Sule Momodu, disclosed this in his office in Awka yesterday. Ekwiajide has the rest of the story.
Mr. Momodu, who described drugs as an enabler for violence, said the agency had embarked on a raid of smoking joints, which led to the arrests. He lamented that in spite of the problems caused by drugs in society, politicians still give same to their thugs. Hence, the command's intensified efforts as checkmating the use of drugs, especially at smoking joints and political rallies across the state.
The command has intensified efforts to ensure that these drugs are not available. 1. 2, we have also intensified efforts as raiding smoking joints, because smoking joints provide opportunities for the boys to meet and strategize.
The state commander urged the citizenry to assist the agency in the fight against hard drugs during election by reporting any person or group of persons, especially politicians, who are known to distribute drugs to youths. He assured in the Anambra that the agency is poised to ensuring that there is no violence before, during, and after the elections. In Awka, Ekwiajide, ABS News.
Leaving security now to religion, Knights and Ladies of St. Christopher, that's on the Niger, recently converged at the All Saints Cathedral Onitsha for their 2019 Family Day. Right Reverend Dr. Owen Wokolo, Bishop on the Niger, presided over the dedication service. Staff reporter Ogochukwu Orano has the detail.
The 2019 Knights Family Day kick-started with parades by the soldiers of Christ who marched according to their years of investiture, with the Knights President Saben Uzuebu, his deputy Dr. Ndoka Ochoba, and the Assistant Chancellor San Nnamdi Ibebu-San taking the salute. In his sermon during the service, Right Reverend Nwokolo reminded the knights of their responsibilities and obligations to the church and the society, stressing that as knights, they should always adorn themselves with the whole armor of God. The bishop urged the knights to work towards the peace and development of the society, especially during the period of the general elections.
2019 without God, He has allowed you to enter year 2019, but that's not the end. You must go with Him. His presence is necessary for you. For us to go into this year the way the Lord wants, there are things we need to do, just like Moses. We must do those things. Number one, you need to know the Lord and to be known by Him. If you are claiming to know God and your name is not written in God's dictionary because of the way you are living your life, that's your business.
The bishop later administered the oath of allegiance on all the knights and their ladies.
Look upon our lives, O Lord our God, and make us your own with fruits from beginning, unselfishness all the way, and perseverance to the end, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Inspire them with purity. Strengthen them with your mighty power. Make them perfect in your ways. Guide them into your truth. Unite them to yourself and to your whole church by your holy mysteries. The glory of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
In an address during the reception held at CJ Patson Auditorium, the Knights President Sir Uzuebu, who set the agenda for the year, highlighted his efforts and the achievements recorded so far by the Council of Knights, who he described as the backbone for rapid transformation of the diocese. The Knights Chaplain, Venerable Josiah Ofebu, who represented Bishop Nwokolo at the reception, highlighted the challenges facing the Knights, stressing that they must live according to the dictates of the gospel. Other speakers at the event included the chairman of the Family Day Committee, Dr. Jude Onyekwel, president of the Lady Knights, Dr. Ngozi Abasimelo, and the director of communications, Sir Oseloka Ofo Ogochukwu Orano for ABS News.
The federal government, through the Federal Capital Territory Primary Health Care Board, has announced plans to commence polio vaccination exercise on Saturday, January 26. The board announced the commencement of the exercise during an orientation program on outbreak response organized for newsmen. Mr. Abdulkaziz Idris, Director of Pharmaceutical Sciences of the board, said at the program that Nigeria was one of the 3 countries in the world that still had polio issues. He urged all parents to allow their children to benefit from this exercise. Mr. Emmanuel Okalai, facilitator from the World Health Organization, urged the media to put the issue of polio on the front burner and to sensitize rural dwellers to allow their children to be immunized. Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves would have crashed to as low as $2 billion if the Central Bank of Nigeria had not restricted importers from accessing forex for the importation of about 42 items the federal government has declared. According to the government, the release of the items on the foreign exchange restriction list by CBN has contributed in shoring up the country's reserves to about $40 billion. In his address at an event organized by Guinness Nigeria Limited to honor farmers in Abuja, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Chief Audu Ogbe, shared his recent conversation with the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, and stated that the government was pleased that the Apex Bank was resolute in its decision on the forex restriction list despite the barrage of attacks. The recent celebration of the 15th Ofala Festival of Igwe Gods in Ezechukwu, the traditional ruler of Umuchu, would best be described as grand as the community rolled out drums to thank God for the peace and progress of Umuchu. The event attracted the who is who in Umuchu town and personalities from other communities in the state, as well as traditional rulers in attendance. Details from our studio.
15th Ofala celebration of Igwe Ezechukwu, which also marked his 15th year on the throne, commenced with a Thanksgiving service at St. Thomas Anglican Church, Umuchu, accompanied by his cabinet chiefs and Ndichie. In a sermon, the Archdeacon of Umuchu Archdeaconry and Vicar, St. Thomas Anglican Church, Umuchu, Venerable David Obiano said, "The life we have on earth is a privilege, hence the need to thank God," and congratulated the monarch on the celebration as he recalled the huge contributions of Igwe Ezechukwu to the building of St. Thomas Church, Umuchu. The Ofala proper at the Igwe's Palace was heralded with the arrival of both the old and new cabinet members who danced into the palace with their wives and family friends, while the first appearance of Igwe Ezechukwu in royalty was greeted with cheers by the people. Performing the traditional breaking of the kola nut with royal blessings, the royal father expressed joy with the people of Umuchu, who are known for being peaceful wherever they go, which he said earns them the friendship of other communities, and prayed for long life, prosperity, peace, and generational continuity for Umuchu people. Further, presenting the speech from the throne, Igwe Umuchu, who spoke through the palace secretary, Professor Echezana Ifejirika, thanked Governor Willie Obiano for nominating a son of Umuchu, Mr. Chidi Ezuoke, as a Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, and for the commencement of the Nkwo Umuchu Ugwakwu Achala Umualaoma Road project.
This is the opportunity of this occasion to thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Chief Willie Obiano, FCA, for nominating our son, Mr. Chief Ezuoke, MNI, as a Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission.
Goodwill messages from members of his cabinet, paying of homage from the Managing Director at Jokuta Steel Company, Professor Ezemenari, and Iwe John Umeniora of Obunike, among others. Royal dance and cultural displays featured at the occasion. From Umuchu, Nagata local government area, Njide Zonyejak reporting for ABS News.
Yes, we move over now to the foreign scene. A government-appointed human rights group in Zimbabwe has accused soldiers of using systematic torture in a crackdown on protests. The Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission strongly criticized authorities for using troops to quell demonstrations. Unrest broke out more than a week ago following a sharp rise in fuel prices. A government spokesman defended the crackdown and told newsmen that a bit of firmness is needed. Reports have emerged of assaults allegedly carried out by the military in various parts of the capital, Harare. Soldiers in Harare were seen beating a large group of minibus drivers yesterday. The continuing violence raises further questions about President Emerson Mnangagwa's control over the military, which helped him to power 14 months ago. President Mnangagwa has promised that abuses against civilians would not be tolerated. Eden Hazard must deliver more to realize his full potential and help dig Chelsea out of a slum in form. Manager Maurizio Sarri has said Sarri heavily criticized the side's mental strength after they slipped to a 2-0 Premier League defeat at Arsenal on Saturday, labeling his players difficult to motivate. However, Sarri's tactics are also under the spotlight as he has persisted with playing Hazard in an unfamiliar centre-forward position over the past month. Chelsea looks set to remedy their striker problem with the imminent arrival of Gonzalo Higuain on loan, who scored 38 goals in one season under Sarri at Napoli in 2015-2016 season. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. You can like us at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Before we go, here are the main points again. As President Muhammadu Buhari commissions Zik's mausoleum today, commendations have continued to pour in on the cordial relationship between the state government and federal government. Federal State Police Command has paraded more than 10 suspected persons for different crimes. The federal government is to commence polio immunization soon. Zimbabwe Human Rights Watch has accused its government of high-handedness in dealing with pro-protesters. And that is the news at 7. I am David Bohasele.